We have Manuel from England who says, Assalamu alaikum, dear Sheikh. My name is Manuel and I am starting to study Islam. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your teachings on YouTube. I wanted to ask you what the difference is between Sufism and Shia Islam. Sufism is a valid branch of Islam according to the Quran. And if it's not too much trouble, could you please explain to me why you wear rings? It seems to me that you don't wear them just for decoration. Thank you again for your teachings. Greetings. Well, dear brother Danny, we have a video on our channel explaining Sufism from the Shia Islamic perspective. And we titled it Islam and Sufism, Two Separate Paths. Because we believe that Sufism has many innovations that are not part of Islam, nor are they from the Holy Quran. They come from the Ruhbaniyya, some of them, and much is affected by religions, or rather by non-Islamic sects. For example, the dance that they perform is not from Islam, but rather taken from other sects, from other religions. The dance the Sufis have was neither present during the time of the Prophet of Islam, nor did the Messenger of God dance, nor did the companions dance. They dance and say dhikr, sema, and start dancing. Yes, everything is invented by them. It is not from Islam. It means they started a path that is invented from innovations, and many Sunni brothers, as well as we Shia, do not recognize them as a correct path. These are things invented by them, not from Islam. Many things that they have, like the concept of qutb, they take a person as the pole, they call him the pillar. A total obedience to a person who is not infallible. And where did they get that from? And many times, in Iran, what we have witnessed is that during their celebrations, often the leaders sexually abuse many women. There they tell people that they have to follow them and hand over their wives to them. And they do a lot of dirty things in Iran, in my city. It was one of their centers. And when people saw that there were a lot of prostitutes, they came over, opened that center, saw everything, condoms, women, drugs, and they had big mustaches. They didn't pray, they were violent, attacking the people who went to open that center to see what was going on inside. It was a center of a lot of corruption. That's why I say many of them don't pray in the West, and in North Africa they are better people. For example, the Sufis in Algeria are much better than the Sufis in Iran. You know what I mean. I can't just say that all of them are bad. No, they are not bad people. In many places, they are not bad people. In Iran, they follow England and the political instructions from England. In Iran, Sufism has already become part of the infiltration of Western espionage. That's why we don't want it inside Iran. But sometimes in Spain, in Argentina. Qadiani, which is a sect invented by the English as part of their infiltration, like the Baha'is, Qadianiyya, Ahmadi. Qadiani is a misguided sect. Like Baha'ism, all made by England. Like Baha'ism created by Lawrence of Arabia. They are also made up. And you say, no, let's meditate. We're going to meditate. And they start doing, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha. They start dancing. No, they're silly things. Okay? So, go watch the video that I posted. Islam and Sufism, two separate paths, means that they don't even follow the origin of Sufism, which was a mystical life, a life of seeking God, but now it isn't. Nowadays, it's a life of luxury, a life of corruption, of lust. My father was a judge and he was a prosecutor in my city, prosecutor for religious matters. One of the cases that came to be reported was against a Sufi. This Sufi used to heal barren women. Allahu Akbar, how miraculous. So, there was a case that came to light, and it was reported in the newspapers, that when a woman came to him, that Sufi would say, please sir, heal me. And he would say, it's holy water, you have to drink it. And poor thing, when she drank that syrupy liquid that the Sufi gave her, there was the chemical that made the woman fall asleep. When the woman fell asleep, that great Sufi, that great name of God, would have sex with that servant of the Lord. When he was having sex with her, in case the infertility was due to her husband, the Sufi would cure her infertility, but on behalf of her husband, and she would get pregnant, but from whom? from Mr. Sufi. So when people discovered it, a woman once came to Mr. Sufi with her sister who was underage, about 15, I don't know how many years old. So that syrup he gives to the woman and to her single little sister. And Mr. Sufi, because he healed everyone, starts to heal the woman, and right away he starts to heal the virgin girl. He starts to heal her. So suddenly, the woman comes to her senses and says, "Oh, look what's happening here. He is hurting my underage little sister." And that's when she starts to report it. And many cases come to light. That man is going to be arrested, among other things. Another case of theirs is that the person who was the leader after a while said, "I am God. You have to worship me." The crazy guy would say, "I am God." So he also had that healing character. And he had healed his mother-in-law, his sisters-in-law, and his own wife. That's how it was. So be very careful. Be very careful that they don't try to heal you. Brother, not everyone is bad in Europe. I've seen more than anything in North Africa. They are good people. The teachings they have are not from Islam. Not everything is from Islam. That is to say, it's a mix. Religions, they mix several religions together. Just imagine, yes, these things happen. Well, God bless you, brother. About the rings, yes, the rings have important side effects of the evil eye. That's for enemies, that's for others. Everyone has their own characteristics, and yes, they do work. For example, there are people with the evil eye who always come on social media. But when you have a ring, everyone is now focused on my rings. They're not watching me. It means that the person with the evil eye will always focus on the ring. They won't focus on you. Well, that's the conclusion. So, what have we said? Sufis in Iran are bad. In the West, Ahmadiyya have ties with intelligence services. North African Sufis are good. But in the West, the Ahmadiyya do have contact with British intelligence services, like the Baha'is, who have contact with Mossad, and the Wahhabi, who have contact with the CIA, among others. But the Sufis in North Africa are good people, with many teachings that are not from Islam. In Europe, it depends on the sect of Sufis, but many of their teachings are not Islamic. That's why, for example, many of them can't even recite the Holy Quran. They can't recite it well. God bless you, brother. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.